Today, we are breaking down the incredibly popular Kichui Pari Na English course. Now, for those who might not be familiar with that phrase, it basically translates to, I know absolutely nothing. And you know what? That is exactly where this course starts. We're looking at a comprehensive, step-by-step blueprint designed to take an absolute beginner from absolute zero to becoming a confident, capable English speaker. In this explainer, we're going to extract the absolute core strategies, the daily study habits, and the foundational lessons from this massive 9-hour course. The goal? You're going to walk away with a concrete, actionable plan. Okay, let's dive right in. Hooking right into the why behind all of this, we really have to look at the instructor's core philosophy. I mean, notice the profound simplicity of this quote. If you know English in today's internet age, you can learn any skill and get ahead. The instructor actually shares a really personal story to back this up. By simply knowing English, he was able to use the internet to teach himself video editing, graphic design, and marketing, totally for free. And he used those skills to land freelance jobs with international clients in New York and build a huge income, all while he was literally still a university student. The big takeaway here is that English isn't just a language to learn. It's honestly the master key that unlocks every other lucrative skill, book, and piece of information on the internet. So, to get you that master key, here is our game plan for today. First, we'll establish the winning mindset. Then, our course completion strategy, followed by habits for perfect pronunciation. After that, we'll look at practicing with course materials, and finally, we'll tackle a quick micro lesson on vowels, consonants, and articles. All right, let's jump right into part 1, the winning mindset. Listen, before you even learn the alphabet, you absolutely have to establish the right psychological foundation. Feeling completely overwhelmed at the beginning of a new language journey, that is entirely normal. The instructor actually calls his approach the doctor's prescription. Think about it this way. If you go to a doctor with a problem and they prescribe you medicine to take every single day for a week, you don't just bring the medicine home, leave it on the kitchen counter, and expect to be cured, right? You actually have to swallow it, consistently every day. While working through an educational course is the exact same thing. You're here to cure a specific problem, not knowing English. Simply opening the videos won't fix it. You need a daily, non-negotiable routine. And the absolute best way to do this is to map out a weekly study calendar. Block out a specific time each day just for this, and treat that calendar appointment like a required dose of medicine that will ultimately transform your life. Moving right along to Section 2, our course completion strategy. Now that our mindset is locked in, how do we actually mechanically consume and absorb hours and hours of video content without burning out? Well, the crucial secret here is the 2-pass method. Now, it sounds completely counterintuitive, but it works like magic. Step 1 is to watch the entire course from start to finish without stopping. When you first start, everything feels terrifying, right? You're probably thinking, what's coming next? This is getting too hard. But the instructor insists you just push through. The goal of this first pass is simply to see the big picture, to map out the territory. You'll naturally absorb a lot, and you'll realize you actually learned quite a bit just by reaching the end. Then comes step 2, repeating the entire course a second time. This is where the magic happens for your attention. Because the fear of the unknown is completely gone, your brain isn't stressed anymore. It can finally relax and actually lock in the vocabulary, make connections, and fill in those specific gaps that confused you the first time around. Okay, Section 3. Habits for perfect pronunciation. This next strategy tackles the absolute deepest intimidation that beginners face, that fear of speaking out loud and sounding foolish. So let's look at some really specific, actionable habits to overcome this. First off, mimic the instructor's exact mouth shapes and sounds. Yes, you might feel a little silly at first, but pronunciation is literally just muscle memory. When he says A, you say A. When he shows how to place your top teeth on your bottom lip for a V, you do exactly that. Second, speak out loud constantly while you're watching. You cannot learn to speak by just passively listening. Your mouth has to do the physical work. Third, and I find this incredibly empowering, prioritize expressing your thoughts over having a perfect accent. The instructor points out that so many students get overly obsessed with sounding British or American. Don't worry about that. The real goal is just communicating your feelings and ideas clearly. Finally, if you ever get stuck, just use Google Translate. Type in the word, click the little audio speaker icon, and you'll hear the exact pronunciation. It's basically a free, instant pronunciation tutor. Next up, Section 4, practicing with course materials. To truly master the language, we have to occasionally step away from the screen. Here's how the course's PDF exercise files build an incredible foundation for writing, giving us a vital offline practice strategy. Step 1, download the PDFs directly to your device or just print them out at a local shop. Step 2, start by tracing the faint letters. The instructor provides worksheets where the letters are printed very lightly. Tracing over these builds up your fine motor control and muscle memory for the English alphabet. Step 3, you progress to writing independently on the blank lines provided.
right below those faint letters. And step 4, once you really have the alphabet down, you use these exact same sheets to start building simple sentences. You're taking those basic, everyday words and writing out your own daily statements. It's a really cool physical progression from tracing a single letter to crafting your actual thoughts on paper.
Which leads us to a very exciting question. So, how do we use these foundational building blocks right now? We've talked about the mindset, the 2-pass video strategy, and the daily writing habits. Now let's actually do some English learning together, straight from the course materials. That brings us to our final section, vowels, consonants, and articles. I promise you, by the end of this quick segment, you are going to secure an immediate micro win and understand a fundamental rule of English grammar. First, we just need to clearly and simply define the 2 distinct categories of the English alphabet. On one side, we have vowels. There are only 5 of them you need to memorize. A, E, I, O, U. That's it. A, E, I, O, U. On the other side, we have consonants. What are consonants? Well, it's brilliantly simple. They are literally all the remaining letters in the alphabet. If it is not A, E, I, O, or U, it is a consonant. You don't even need to memorize them. Now, why does this simple distinction matter so much? It matters because of articles, those little words like a, an, and the that we use to point out objects. Look at the top of our list here. We use an when the following word starts with a vowel. For example, an apple. Why do we do this? Because it creates a beautiful natural flow when you speak. Try saying a apple. It just sounds clunky, right? An apple just glides off the tongue. Next, we use a when the word starts with a consonant, like a tree. Tree starts with T, which is a consonant. Finally, we use the when we are talking about a very specific item. Like if there's a group of men and you want to point out just one of them, you don't say a man, you say the tall man. It points a direct finger at a specific thing. Mastering just this one simple rule instantly elevates how natural your spoken English sounds. So, I want to leave you with a final provocative question. Are you ready to take the prescription and totally transform your future? The blueprint is laid out clearly before you. You know that English is the master key to unlocking global opportunities. You have the 2-pass video strategy, you have the daily PDF writing habits mapped right to your new weekly study calendar, and hey, you've already conquered your first grammar lesson with vowels and articles. The medicine is right here. Your new journey toward confidence and opportunity begins the exact moment you decide to take it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this comprehensive breakdown empowers you to completely